The problem as I see it is twofold. One, there's a strong genetic component to intelligence, and two, it is just as easy for stupid people to have sex as it is for smart people. And I don't know how to wrangle either one of that dilemma. I mean, is there some way that we could tweak the genetic material of an embryo to make it more intelligent? I guess someday we might have that capability. Alternately, is there some way we could make it more intellectually challenging to have sex? I mean, how would we do that? Institute some sort of massive redesign of undergarments that you have to be able to explain the difference between Platonism and Aristotelianism to get a bra to come off? Actually, that's not bad. Please do not misunderstand me. I am not saying don't hate people. I would be the last person to say that. I'm just saying have a good reason. For example, I hate people who whistle. You may laugh at that, but hating people for whistling makes a hell of a lot more sense than hating people for being gay, because when you whistle, it affects me. Oh, God! I'm just standing there minding my own damn business, and there's this happy motherfucker next to me. And he's just so happy that the happiness is bubbling up out of him like a song of those goddamn birds that won't let me sleep in the morning, and I get to share in his happiness whether I want to or not. You know what I wish would happen in that situation, what would make my day? I wish that whistler would go away, find another guy, and have sex with him. And I don't even care if he's one of those demented perverts who likes to whistle while he's having sex, as long as I don't have to hear it. So, but we do it anyway, because in our so-called two-party system, we see the people supporting the other guy, holding rallies and holding up signs and cheering his name and defacing the bumpers of their cars, and we're afraid if we don't do the same thing, we might wind up with a president even worse than our candidate. And guess what? The reason they do all that stupid crap is they see us doing all that stupid crap. And you got two groups of people, each stupidly holding up a mirror to the other, and the mirrors face each other and reflect nothing but stupidity into infinity. So I had to go to her. And of course this brought me within a few feet of her face. And I was standing there, staring at it. Just staring at it. And suddenly I said to myself, her face looks like a catcher's mitt. Wait, I'm going somewhere really life-affirming with this. When I said to myself, her face looks like a catcher's mitt, suddenly it was like I was the Buddha. And I was sitting underneath that tree, and I just got hit on the head by the apple of enlightenment, because suddenly everything made sense. From the first day I met her, I've always wanted to throw a baseball at her face. I assumed it was because I disliked her so much. In reality, she simply reminds me of our nation's pastime. You may not be aware of this, but there are actually some countries in the world where they don't even speak English. I mean, what the fuck? Think about it. You go over to this country, you're standing on the corner, this guy walks by and you ask him how to get to McDonald's. And he just stares at you like an idiot. I'm not going to go there. I'm telling you, if the English language was good enough for Jesus Christ, it should be good enough for everybody.
And she said, "Oh, I hate Freud. Freud, all I hate is freaking guts." And I said, "Really? Why is that exactly?" And she said, "Because Freud was this sexist, misogynistic, chauvinistic bastard who was just part of the subjugation of women going back to the dawn of humanity." And I said, "Yeah." But, on the other hand, he did make up what you do for a living out of thin fucking air to me. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but you are able to keep yourself in Birkenstocks and the CDs featuring the artists of the Lilith Fair because of that sexist mofo from Vienna, right? Woo! And that is why I love the Great Dead Poets.
I want to love you like I was Robert Browning, and you, my beloved Elizabeth. I knew at the moment you stepped on the train and we shared a glance across the unremarkable air. It was only a moment, but it was longer than long enough. And I don't mind that you were texting. And I don't mind that you were not texting me. And I don't even mind that what you were texting was probably, "Honey, there's a weird guy staring at me on the train." I don't mind any of that, because that's not how I want to meet you anyway. That means that according to my estimates, every week, every 7 days, the world's gene pool sees the addition of over 1 million cute, adorable, precious, innocent-looking little morons. And all of those stupid births are more than enough to offset the stupid deaths that happen during the same time period. Okay, you're thinking, but so what? Who cares? The stupid people aren't dangerous like the evil people. Oh, but they are. You see, the stupid people are the instrument, the blunt instrument, the evil people use to achieve their evil goals. I mean, you think that the Holocaust happened because of Adolf Hitler, because of one guy? The Holocaust happened because because in Germany in the 1930s, there were a bunch of strudel-eating dumbasses who listened to that whole strudel out and then said to themselves, yeah, they are the devil incarnate. What devil incarnate means, I'm so stupid I don't even speak with a halfway decent German accent. Okay, you're thinking.
He said if Limbaugh doesn't like it here, he can squeeze his hawks onto an international flight and get the hell out. Maybe he'd like a warmer climate, but you know, a dry heat, kind of like Phoenix, but with more car bombings. Or maybe, since he likes to talk about Gitmo so much, he'd like to try out the accommodations firsthand. Or maybe, if we really want to torture him, we should just send him to France. Yeah, that's it. Rush Limbaugh smack dab in the middle of a country full of people who read. He'd think he died and gone to hell a few years earlier.
Horatio Nelson, the great British naval commander, died in 1805. Now, I know what you're thinking. He died in 1805? Fuck it. And normally, I would be right there with you, but let's not be so hasty. Because died in 1805 or not, Lord Nelson did say something really cool. And the really cool thing he said was also the last thing he said, which makes it doubly cool. Lying on the deck of the HMS Victory, mortally wounded by a bullet from a French sailor, his life ebbing from his body with only a few seconds left, Nelson's final words were, "Thank God I have done my duty. Thank God I have done my duty." Wow. Could you imagine somebody in our society saying those words? I don't think so. When did we lose that? I don't know, but I want some of that in my life. I want some, thank God I have done my duty. The pitcher throws his third pitch. Hornsby does not swing. The umpire says, ball 3. That wasn't ball 3, it was strike 3! Ah! The umpire steps out from behind home plate, takes a couple of steps towards the pitcher's mound, takes his mask off, and calmly says, "Son, when you throw a strike, Mr. Hornsby will let you know." Wow. And I'm that rookie pitcher every time I sit down to write. And I know that I just walked Hornsby on 4 pitches with that extended Hornsby metaphor that was extended just a little bit too long. Now, the title of the program seemed to imply that his inability to get laid was connected to his size. So, if he thought that the loss of all that weight was going to coincide with the loss of all that virginity, apparently it was mistaken, at least so far. But he's still got a really positive attitude. If it was me, I'd be stopping random women on the street. "Hey! I lost 400 pounds! Have sex with me, you heartless bitch!" But then I thought to myself, wait a minute. Seriously, as a society, as a species, we need to quit coming up with stupid and cutesy names for things which already have perfectly good names, which are not stupid and cutesy. And not because hearing them makes me want to walk down the street and knock the hats off people's heads. No, it's because our very survival depends on it. You know that time I was abducted by aliens? I never mentioned that? There was this time I was abducted by aliens. Probably the happiest moments in my life now are when I'm on the brink of consciousness, halfway returned from a dream in which my father is still alive, and I never had to confront that silence. The happiest moments in my life followed immediately by the saddest. So what am I supposed to say about that? What's my big insight? I guess I make fun of the way people talk about death because I don't have anything more constructive to say. Sometimes I feel like it's a dream that any of us are really here at all. That it's all already in the past tense, that we're already moving away from the shore, getting smaller and smaller until we finally disappear. But I don't know anything about that, and neither do you.